Hi, how are you? I'm Laura and I'm so happy you're here. I'm going to talk about aware parenting and sleep today. So, a lot of people are drawn, a lot of families are drawn to aware parenting because it helps with quality of sleep and getting our children to sleep in a compassionate, loving way. So, the aware parenting approach is actually also called the crying in arms approach because we never leave our children to cry alone, but when we're with them, supporting them and connecting with them, it helps them to relax and to be able to fall asleep with their babies right in our arms when they're done with their cry. If they're older, maybe allowing them to move around a little bit, but keeping like a safe space for them to release those emotions, whether they're through tantrums or crying. And the body naturally releases stress emitting hormones through these tears and crying. So the crying acts as a way of healing and also of communicating. And if all needs have been met, like the baby or child is not hungry or doesn't need a nappy change, is not feeling unwell, then crying is very beneficial. And you'll see for yourself that once a big cry comes out, the child or baby will fall asleep after that in arms. I'll share a little bit about my experience as a mom. When my daughter was about 6 months old, I learned about aware parenting. And before that, I would breastfeed her often through the night. It would be every hour waking up and feeding. And I thought this was fixing or helping us to sleep better. But actually, we kept waking up every hour. And that wasn't good for me. And it wasn't good for my daughter as well. Once I understood that crying may be needing to be released, and once those emotions were let out, she could sleep better, then we were able to sleep for longer periods and fall asleep easier. So I've brought a little koala friend, not real, but this little puppet, to join me as my baby today. I'm going to make this koala my baby. My babies are now 3 and 6 years old, so I can't hold them quite like this. But if you have a baby, you can try the crying in arms approach. Now, the first time, if you haven't done this before, there might be like a plug of emotions that you release and a lot of crying comes out. So be prepared for that. And you can always catch up. This is another beautiful thing about the approach. It's never too late to practice aware parenting. So if there's years of crying that need to come out, that's fine. You listen to as much as you can, and those emotions will come out and be heard. And if you are doing this from a newborn, that's beautiful as well. Our babies may need to cry for a number of reasons. Maybe it's about the birth, or maybe about the pregnancy if some big emotions were being stored, or maybe it's overstimulation from a big day out, or maybe some other emotions that need to come out. Our body emits stress-emitting hormones once the crying is out, and we restore back into our natural state, homeostasis, our balance. So when I would have my baby, I used this approach with my newborn and with my daughter when she was about 6 to 9 months. We started implementing it. I would hold them and I would listen to the crying. I wouldn't move around, I wouldn't rock, because then they would get used to that, and it wouldn't allow them to feel just completely present and heard. I would create a bubble of empathy and support and be there listening. So sometimes the crying would be an hour, sometimes 5 minutes, sometimes 2 hours, and I would do as much as I could do and as much as my baby needed to let out. So if I felt under-resourced and tired and I couldn't listen, then I would do as much as I could, but I would say, I'm sorry, that's all I can listen to now, and then find another approach to getting the baby to sleep. But if I felt resourced enough to listen to the full crying, I would hold my baby and listen and stay completely calm and maybe say a few words like, I hear you and I understand and I'm here with you and I love you and I'm here with you. Sometimes if my older daughter, if say this was my newborn, my older daughter might be with my husband so that I would have this complete presence and space to listen completely. And then my baby would fall asleep in my arms. I would wait a couple minutes until it was a deep sleep, and then I would lay my baby down and let him sleep. So that was with my newborn. When my daughter was 6 to 9 months and we were implementing the approach, it would be more of a safe boundary space that I would create on the bed and let her move around. We co-slept, and so I would say, I'm here with you, and I'd kind of keep bringing her back to the center and let her have some freedom of movement and autonomy while also supporting those emotions to be released, setting loving limits while still allowing her to be free and calm and heard. And then eventually at that age, around 6 to 9 months, she would fall asleep. And we keep doing this from today. If a big emotion needs to come out at any point during the day, if I'm able to, I'm there and I'm listening, and then it makes it a lot easier for bedtime. So if you don't want to do this just before bed, you can allow your baby or child to have a tantrum or cry and understand that this is so great for their emotions, for their body. The benefits will help them. You'll see the benefits of sleeping better for you and for your baby, and the benefits of feeling calmer, more gentler, and happier to sit by themselves, higher emotional intelligence, and overall more joy. I hope you learned a lot from this video. Thank you so much for being here. Bye!